Yespixel, episode 26 with our guest Cydrose and Dyoti, a special double episode. Real quick before we get to them, this episode is brought to you by, and we're really excited to have this sponsor, subscribing. Subscribe to your favorite ideals, subscribe to your favorite streamers, and especially subscribe when they're on a subathon. All right, let's jump right into it.
No, not that.
That was terrible.
Guy,
that was terrible. Yeah, don't do that guy.
No, not.
He needs to
do
sleep,
it,
right?
Hydra. Please, this is my last year streaming. Okay.
Hello. Oh my God.
Hi.
What the hell?
What?
Dyoti?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a hot dude. What the hell happened?
Yeah, nobody told us. I thought you were gonna have like one arm or something.
Yeah.
I can't be a self-insert. That would be. How would I?
Most cops are. I'm confused now.
What
Okay.
is this? Make it make sense.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just a normal dude.
And Sid,
I can tell. Damn,
We got you
that's a
both.
normal dude right there.
we got a normal dude and a definitely real Russian lady.
Oh, I'm so Russian.
So Russian. You can hear it. You can hear it. Spasibo, comrade.
Yes. Privyet.
Well, privyet. No,
I was
really,
looking forward to this one. This one, I'm excited.
It's going to be a really good episode. One of the main reasons we wanted you guys both on at the same time is because later I want to get into what some people would refer to as cringy roleplay, also known as relationship RP, which I don't think is actually cringy. I think people that think it's cringy are cringy. But you guys do such a good job role-playing separately, together. You know, you guys do such a good job that it's like when two powerhouses of roleplay can come together. And genuinely, like, if you... I don't watch Nopixel, like, GTA streams really anymore. But every now and then I'll pop on Sid or Dyoti's stream just to see them, like, closing out for the night in their apartment with Boris sleeping on the floor. And it's so cute, man. You guys genuinely...
where he belongs. Where he belongs on the floor.
Oh my God. You guys do it's so cute, and it feels so genuine and wholesome. It doesn't feel like two people pretending to be in an RP relationship like a lot of relationship RP can be. It really feels like these two characters, it almost feels like your story is like written for you, right? You guys do such a good job that it feels almost like I'm like watching a scripted story. You know, like you guys do so good. That's how genuinely real it feels. How did you guys come into that? We'll talk.
It's easy.
Yeah,
we script it.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Nice. That's the best RP.
It's all written.
I mean, I'm sure you're getting that from your SCU RP as well. All you scripted serial killers.
I don't touch the serial killer stuff most of the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I avoid it. I avoid it.
My man.
That's the way to go.
Oh yeah, I loved your reaction the other day when I'm like, oh yeah, Hunter Cross has like this thing he wants to do, and you're like, I just want to go to bed, man. Okay, cool. Well, we should get into introductions then, because listen, it's sad to say, but there are people out there who have no idea who Dyoti or Cydrose are.
True.
What the heck?
True.
Oh God, imagine.
So, Sid,
Life.
let's meet you first. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Sid. I play two characters in the server. Well, three, but one of them is very rare. I play Sydney Loon, which is my first character. Pretty much, you know, joined a gang on her. Didn't feel it in the end, and then now I'm trying to become a cop on her. And there's Katya, who is more recent, from the Russian embassy. And that's about it. I don't play Rose, my little old granny. I should do one day. She's great.
You have a babushka?
She's this little Cockney grandma that she runs around looking to collect husbands and cigarettes.
Perfect.
Oh,
That's so
God.
good. That's great. And Dyoti, how'd you get? I know you got started in the public servers, right?
Yeah. So I'm Dyoti. I play Winston Walker. That's the only character I really play. I have 5 other characters created. I don't ever play any of them.
Guilty.
Well, yeah, I originally started. I got whitelisted, then public server came out, so I played Wyatt Cole on public. I'm a cop on it there, and then switched over to what the hell's Wrestling Empire?
Hey, what are you doing? You're
Hey,
not
don't
supposed to see
say
that.
Yeah, no, played on public, and then got invited to come play cop on whitelist, and then had to make Winston Walker.
What led you to getting invited to whitelist from public?
Great question. Don't know the answer. I think it's because I was one of the. There's a couple of us who had made like command/high command on public.
Mhm.
There wasn't really like a bunch of whitelist people played to start, and then kind of dipped. So we were all. I always describe it as like a recruiting line, like people that would just be like, "Go, go, go, go!" They'd just give you an M4, throw you into the trenches, and then we just had to figure out the rest.
Okay.
It's just just getting shot at, and had to be like, "Okay, you guys learn the SOPs by yourself, and if you do well enough, we'll just give you some sort of rank to try and figure it out."
Okay.
So I made lieutenant, and then yeah, I got invited to come join waitlist, along with pretty much everybody else who was commander that time. Minerva Matt, Sharad, who plays Marcel King, now plays Wakabi.
Well, played Marcel
Cannoli.
King.
Wait, did King Perma or did he just retire after
No, he
the
just
firing?
plays Wakabi.
Okay.
He's a way cooler racer now.
Oh, cool.
He did also get fired on Marcel King because
For the kidnapping thing, right?
Yeah, he did this great arc with Anita.
So good.
And yeah, then kidnapped Anita May, put her in a trunk. I've got the angels to kidnap her, put her in a trunk, which she already has trauma of, and dragged her to the
hangar in Zancudo.
Yeah, Zancudo. And then was like, "Hey, you want to get married?" And she was like, "What the fuck?"
And like, I think he did all this knowing full well that's exactly how it was going to go. So funny.
Yeah.
I don't think he expected to get fired for it, but I mean, it's very funny. I mean,
it was pretty good. But yeah, so Marcel King unfortunately is now fired. Cannoli's lieutenant now. Minerva's, is she a sergeant yet? I'm sergeant. I think who else? Cassidy, he came along with us. He's
listen,
corporal.
you're asking the wrong guy about chain of command. Okay, John Hydra knew Hydra, Pred. That's all I know. So if I ever come back to being cop, I have to like learn the chain of command.
I want to give some a lore dump on Cassidy real quick. He actually comes from a server. I knew him before you knew him. He came from a server called Wild West RP where I met Kyle, and we both,
and me.
Yeah, we both. Yeah, I think he's been whitelisted on Nopixel for 3 years maybe. He didn't play because, not having prio is S, but I didn't know he got caught from public.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how it happened. That's pretty cool.
He was captain of LSPD on public, and then got poached the same time as I did.
No.
It was really funny. I remember the interview point where like so they contacted us all and they were like, "Hey, okay, if you want to come up to whitelist, you got to make a new character. Doesn't remember anything." I was like, "Okay," so I was like, "Well, I can't be Wyatt Cole, so I'll be Winston Walker." And then I turn up and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Winston Walker," and Chase Cassidy's like, "Yeah, I'm Zach Cassidy," and I was like, "Motherfucker."
That's great.
No, he does that thing that a lot of streamers do, where they put their stream name in part of their character's name.
Oh, cringe. Who would do
Easier to
that?
find them. I mean, it's smart if you think about it.
Couldn't be me.
It's
Couldn't be me.
Wait a second, Hydra. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Hold on a second. What, stanky leg? That's not. What are you talking about? Anyway, moving along. Yeah. That's, I think, some of the best role players on the server have been people who got sort of invited over from whitelist.
From public.
Or from public, yeah. To whitelist from public thing.
I was trying to think, who's Appy Turk? Appy Turk came from public as well.
Interesting. Yeah. So did Nexera. I am Nexera.
Yeah.
Tommy Tinker, who is popping off. Dude, I know, trust me, I know not being cop sucks, right? but
Still killing it.
he's making it work. He's really crushing it.
Yeah, he's
I don't know if Arthur McNee originally started there, but he played a lot of his co-op on there, and he's been kind of transitioning over to whitelist.
I think quite a couple of people did that. Same with Demi Black, Evie. So she played Antigone Western as a cop on Public around about the same time I played.
Does anybody else struggle saying that character's name? Antigone. Dude, I have to like think about every letter in the word before I have to say it.
Antigone.
Antigone, yeah.
Wait, is it not Antigone? I've been reading it this whole time. I'm like, what kind of name is Antigone?
Oh, that's great.
I've got a spicy question. You don't have to answer it. But are there people that are like higher ranks than you that didn't get invited?
I don't think so. I know well, I don't know, but it feels like they've stopped inviting so many people from Public. I think the people from Public have just applied for whitelist. We all had to apply for whitelist anyway, but they've applied and then made their own way over. Like Tails was on Public. I don't think technically she got invited. I think she just came over to whitelist and started applying through the normal means.
I don't know the Tails character. I've seen her in passing. Dude, when somebody said Tails and then I saw her orange hair with the white tip, I was like, oh my god, dude. That's so good.
Yeah. She usually wears a fox mask as well. I don't think she does it so much on whitelist, but yeah. Actually, I think Marcel King and Cannoli were the same. Actually, I'm not sure if they got invited. They just came over.
Masks,
All right, you know what they do is what they do. You know,
since 2023, don't kink shame, okay?
Oh my god! I just had a revelation. I just noticed something.
What's that?
A lot of CPD's high command are, golden children from Public.
Yeah, no, they are.
It's crazy.
They were all mostly LSPD. I was BCSO on Public, so I was like, well, I'm not going to be the same. So I switched over to LSPD. They were all BCSO, so I was like, oh, I get to be with them. And then they all so they were all LSPD, and then they switch over, and I was like, oh, I still don't get to be in the same department. And yeah, they're all doing really well. All of them doing really, really well.
So
I think, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Cannoli and King already had characters, and it like Tricoli. I think Tricoli was already around a bit before he started playing Public.
Fucking Joey. Hey, it's me, Vincent Tricoli, and then I play also my cop character, Vincent Cannoli. And hey, did I tell you guys about my Civ? His name's Vincent Manoli. Sorry, I'm literally just teasing the guy.
It's so funny. I love when people do, like, when you know who they are just by like the sound of their name. You're like, okay, dude, all right, fucking goof.
Yeah.
Well,
with all that said, okay, so this actually transitions into our next question. And if any of you have watched or listened or peeped or transcribed the podcast at any point in time, we always ask how your application process went. And so this Public didn't have like an application. You just joined, right? Like okay. So then did you even have to apply?
Yeah.
Or were you just like, okay. How'd that go? How many attempts and what character? I guess you kind of already answered that with your one character, Andy.
Which I think is smart, by the way, especially if you're like new to roleplay. Like only having one character is very smart.
Actually, my application was completely different. Wait, Sid, do you want to go first on the application?
Mine was pretty straightforward, to be honest. I wrote it, sent it in, got denied the first time, fixed it up a little bit, and then got accepted the second time.
Nice.
That's my story.
They denied you, and you still reapplied. How could they made a mistake? They should have.
I knew I could do better.
I applied 4 times, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I got 4 times. My character I created was I guess technically really new to roleplay. I didn't really do any roleplay before. I think I'd played like one D&D game.
That's a good,
I have no idea how I'm gonna get into this. Applied the first time, really basic. They denied me. I think it was on the 4th one I accepted. What was my character? It was not one that I wanted him to be a racer. I can't remember. I think his last name was DuPont because I was looking up like rich families, and it was essentially just some sort of rebellious.
We're gonna be a Dupog.
Yeah, and I remember my first day I played on Whitelist, I was this DuPont character. Tension was he was just kind of I think I went through all of his different like attributes because he would be kind of rebellious but also slightly ignorant. Just didn't really understand what he was doing wrong, but also really arrogant because Daddy will always save him if he gets in trouble. And I think I went round, couldn't get a job, so I was like, man, this character really needs to earn some money because he is down bad. To try to rob a house, and I don't know if you guys have tried to rob a house without getting a job. Like I went up and then tried to lockpick the door, and it's like, boss is going to take your hand. I was like, oh shit, oh shit. And then I started running around like asking everybody. Somebody finally gave me the unlock, and then I went down to the barrio, robbed a house, came out, and there was 5 Vargo outside, and I didn't know who the Vargo were. They all got guns, and they're like, "Hey, essay," and I was like, "I'm fucked. I'm so fucked." And then they asked what my name was, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't remember what his first name was. I think it was Bart Dupont." And they were like, "Oh, you related to Dupont?" And I was like, "Who?" And they're like, "Great." Dragged me down to the sewers, shot me, took my shoes, and called the EMS. And then I think I played public the next day.
See, Vagos care. They call the EMS after they rob and
my
kill
shoes,
you.
though. My shoes. Not your shoes. On the server. My goddamn shoes.
Our respectful kings.
Who would do that?
Side.
Who would take somebody's shoes?
I insulted them on my first day in the server. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think it was on like Dean World Pier, back when the markets were around, and my sister, who had a character at the time, was like showing me around, I guess, and they were all wearing their yellow, and I was like, "Yo, it's the Simpsons." Frankie came over and he was like, "The fuck are you saying?" And he started talking about London, like how London's a bad place. And I was like, "Okay, haggis." And then they actually found it really hilarious that someone so new was like chatting shit, and they left me alone.
You know what's crazy about that? My first, was it my first day? Maybe my second day on the server. I got gunned down by a. I don't know what the streamer's name was, but his character's name was Caesar, and he spoke the most fluent fucking Spanish ever. And I'm playing a character that's Spanish that doesn't speak a lick of and I don't know a lick of Spanish, right? So I'm like, yeah, see, I go around with him like I spent 30 minutes. He's talking Spanish. I gotta pretend I know what he's saying because my character knows what he's saying, but my dumb ass doesn't. And and then we start robbing people. We set people up, and my character is supposed to be, Fidel Guevara. He's a character with no loyalties to nothing.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, but the only thing he has loyalty to, shit. The only thing he has loyalty to is money, right? And that's one character trope that I was gonna die on with that character. And so the plan was because he's Hispanic, I was like, you know what? We could probably get into the Vagos. I got this guy Caesar with me who speaks a lot of Spanish. We could be a bundle deal. Can you guys hear we could be a bundle deal. And, well, I tell him this. We go to a house. He shoots me in the back of the head. So we both got gunned down by the Vagos. It's like a rite of passage.
To kill your friend?
He got in. I think he got in through that. I think, my blood got him into the gang. So
okay, so really, you are the Vagos.
No, I didn't perma. Hell no.
Oh. Yeah. For people who don't know about Fidel Guevara, this was a character that 52 played in 2.0, and he got into some of the. For those who remember who Tyrone Biggums was, he got into some of the biggest fucking arguments with this guy, and it was so funny. I have never seen somebody trigger another person so badly that they would send an entire hit squad after them. That was so good, man. Yeah, 52 in 2.0 was another beast. Are you still here? Your camera froze. I don't know if you're.
Oh, he's
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
But yeah, I took a screenshot of it. Don't worry.
Don't worry, we all did.
Nice one, dude.
Every time his camera freezes, we take a picture. I have a whole collage of him frozen.
This is a good one. This is
Oh, yeah.
this is emote worthy.
Honestly, that's emote worthy. Yeah, that was
I'm
actually
putting that in Discord. There you go. You can thank me later.
Perfect.
If you turn that into an emote, I want a paycheck. Okay, just saying.
Okay,
I want a paycheck, buddy.
Yeah.
You already owe me $250,000 for the RP you put me through yesterday.
And you still owe me
God.
10% of your total income forever from streaming since I forced you to be I power gamed you into being cop.
True. You made me. The roleplay that I had with fucking traumz yesterday was fucking insane.
What
man.
It's
happened?
really funny.
You say traumz because I gotta quickly do something real quick.
Gotta go get his hot pocket.
Oh, I'll TLDR it. Cause don't like her. Really, you know, if you weren't there, you weren't there. You know, I'm riding with people. I'm around, getting Carmine's car. Wrangler chases a BBMC vehicle. We attach. We didn't even get to see it. And Carmine's like, we gotta find that thing. Where could they be? I know. BBMC turf. So we drive into the heart of the Billabong.
Somebody give this guy a promotion to detective. Holy fuck.
We are as deep into the Billabong as you can possibly get. We're all the way in the back, and we're like, sorry, Carmine's like, hey, there's nobody here. Where's everybody? Maybe we should get Pedro to get out and he can shit all over the place. Because we had Pedro Frank in the car too. And then all of a sudden, like, it was like I'm trying to think of a movie example, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, all of a sudden people were like throwing tarps off of themselves. They were jumping out of dumpsters. They were jumping off down out of roofs. You know, one guy was hiding under the lid of a trash can, but he wasn't even in the trash can, right? Like they literally just came out of nowhere. One guy hiding behind like a palm leaf or something like that. And then all of a sudden there's a dozen of them and they got AKs. They're pointing them at us. Get your hands up, right? And I'm like, oh no. It's the BBMC.
Who could have seen this coming?
What a surprise!
So we get handcuffed. We get searched and robbed, and then I'm like, fuck, they're gonna kill us. They're just gonna kill us.
No. You were like, how can I make this about me right now? That's what.
No, that's not true. So listen, I've always had a good heart-to-heart Moosebeard versus Dundee, and so I was like, I think I can like try to talk us out of this. So I was like, Dundee sidebar, and I told him exactly what happened. I said, like, listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. You know, I'm always honest with you. Here's what happened. Wrangler did this. We went looking for the car. We meant no trouble. And I even said, I was like, I could have stopped him coming in here, but I didn't. Is a dumb choice. And he's like, all right. I was like, I just let us go. Like, we'll get out of here. We'll get out of your hair. He's like, I'm going to let you and Pedro go, but I'm not letting Carmine go. He's mine. And I said, Dundee, you understand this better than anybody else, so I'm going to tell it to you straight. I was like, I recently got promoted to captain, and you know that with leadership comes responsibility. He's my responsibility. Therefore, you got to take me instead of him. And so they ended up putting me in a car and blowing me up right in front of Carmine and Pedro. But Carmine might not know, because I hadn't explained this to him yet. He took my captain's badge.
No.
The only thing that's making people believe that I'm actually a captain, which, by the way, I'm a content captain. I'm the new Cornwood. So frick off, people.
Dad?
But I had to get that back, and I didn't just want to ask Copper for a new one. So there was some role play involved in getting it back. I won't go into that because I don't want to spoil Carmine or a 52 on that. But
There's self-insert. It's the same thing.
what do you mean, Al? What is that? You're still talking shit? You bastard.
Yeah, last night was kind of crazy.
It's fun. Oh man.
I feel like Carmine at 52 is the king of getting into the most insane fucking scenarios and then coming out scot-free. Everyone else around him is devastated. He's literally a plague on his friends and the people around him. But he comes out and he's like, hell yeah, that was awesome. Just crip walking down the street.
Is protagonist plot armor, what can I say?
It's true. Oh god, it's so true. All right, I want to switch gears a little bit, talk to Sid here. Sid Rose. Hi. Hey, hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good.
How did you make Katya specifically to be in the Russian embassy?
Yeah, she was actually I joined the Russian embassy. Does anyone remember like the first days of the Russian embassy when it was just like a couple gates?
When it was like a rusted tank in the center and just some walls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People getting disappeared for going in there.
I was offline on my main, who's a criminal, and who was a criminal at the time. And the cops were like, yo, we need everybody in the city to come fight the Russians. And I go down there and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't like the cops. Why am I on their side? So I walked over to the Russians and I was like, yo, can I join?
Yo.
And Gabriel was like, okay, but your name's now Katya. So I was like on Sid and he was calling me Katya. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I actually went back for the next couple of days on Sid because nothing was happening anywhere else at the time. And then he was like, by the way, you do realize like at best you're going to get treason, right? And I was like, oh shit, I get you. I'm going to go dye my hair real quick. So he was like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I went and made Katya as a character and came back.
So wait, canonically, is Katya just Sid with dyed hair?
Technically, she is.
When SBS gets real.
This changes a lot of things. No, this changes a lot of things.
No. Technically, she is, but, you know, she's not. And Flop, even, I remember Flop interacted with Sid when she was, like, role-playing as Katya, and he arrested her. And he's got Sid in his phone as Katya, he's put Katya in his phone as Katya, not Sydney Loon.
Nice.
Because I think that's just a Chris thing to do.
Yeah, he got so confused about the whole situation because I was like, no, my name's Katya. And he was like, yeah, but your prints are coming up as Sydney Loon. And I was like, don't know what to tell you, buddy.
That's so good.
So let me get this straight. So Winston's dating a Russian who is also his neighbor, and his now adopted son wants to kill his neighbor but is actually his girlfriend. They just have different accents.
It's
both the same eye.
It's
I have a headache.
It gave me a headache. That's why I split them up. There was no way I could ever carry on that, like, them being two people.
I think we have to settle this in HOA court. It's the only way.
This doesn't make any sense. Oh my
god! I need to bring up a second. You know.
Yeah, just do what I did and have 52 Chains play Sid while you're on Katya. And he'll make her face look like it's made out of Play-Doh.
I will force Laura on you. I'll fucking send messages to people if you let me do that.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, I could. I feel like I genuinely could, like, open up two tabs, just play both at once, doing the accent, going back to regular. It wouldn't be that
multi-box.
hard.
She's multi-boxing, guys. Oh, it's so good.
If you ask me, Dyoti deserved this for hair IDing her. Okay, you just look at her hair and then you assume this is on you, man.
It's true. Hair ID. Look,
I get arm ID'd all the time. You can't
arm ID. It would be lack of arm ID.
I guess lack of arm ID.
Mm-hmm.
Just steal Bucky's arm. He can talk now. He doesn't need it.
I was going to get his original arm, the Cerberus one, I think. The one that, ironically, Clear Designs made, who plays Boris. But I think something went wrong because he got those items as the like custom clothing items.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he got it as one of those before Toby changed the clothing store.
Oh.
So the old one no longer works and it's not in the new clothing store. So
Can we take a sidebar and talk about how much work Clear Design puts in? I know a lot of people see other devs a lot more upfront. You know, when you think of like Nopixel devs, Clear Design might not be the one that first comes to your mind, especially if you don't hang out with the Russians and know about Boris. And a lot of people know Boris and don't even know who plays him or who did all the work for the Russian embassy and all the work that he does. But man, that Clear puts in so much work for the server. I didn't realize how much time this guy puts in on the server until I like went in to catch a couple of his development streams that were like hours and hours long. And he's like, and I still have to get on Boris, and then I have to go and make sure all this stuff works. And I'm just like, holy fuck, man. This guy is like dedicated. This dude works, and his work is clean too. There are times when other devs will put stuff in that are like, they're like, it's okay. It's fine for now. And then we'll adjust it later. But typically when I see Clear put something in, it's like working 99% before he'll like consider putting it in the server.
Mm-hmm.
Clear's often doing stuff whilst he's playing Boris. Like he'll just sit there on Boris. That's why Boris sometimes doesn't respond. You go up to it, hey Boris, and he's just sitting there, dead eye, just staring at you. Because it's on the other screen, just making
and then
something
4
else.
minutes later, he'll go, huh.
No, you guys, I disagree. Honestly, I'm here to get him canceled. Because guess what, guys? I'm gonna say it. I got the receipts and everything. I watched Boris maul a little itty bitty rabbit out in the woods yesterday. He didn't do anything. And he ate that rabbit.
Hit that rabbit.
Yeah, he probably did
so
do that.
fluffy
Yeah.
and cute. He
Yeah.
killed him.
Why Winston can't bring out his bunny?
Oh,
Boris will
point.
Boris will 100% eat him.
How much are animals? How much are like the pets, like from Polito Pets?
That's a
Just adopt.
lot.
It's like 100K for a rabbit.
100,000.
No, it's like 60 for a rabbit, but it ramps up to like 200.
I think I might.
I think for dogs and stuff.
I'm gonna buy whatever the cheapest animal is, and I'm just gonna roleplay that I'm like farming them, and every time I see Boris, I'm just gonna give him a new one to eat. That's really gonna. People are gonna be so upset. People are gonna get so upset. I love it so much.
Oh no!
I love it.
Too
I
real,
think you-
too real.
You could buy like the non, was it deployable ones?
No, I
don't
want-
think that's the right
I
word.
want the
but
deployable ones. I want it to come out so we can
Well, the
eat it, so people
deployable
can be
ones.
upset.
I'm fairly certain they won't sell you a second one.
Well, because the way it works.
You get to do it once.
Well, because the way the mechanic works is you activate the item and the pet comes out, and if somebody kills you, it's like the wheelchair. You could just summon it back and then resummon it later.
just buy a
okay.
bag full of bunnies.
Yeah, so I won't. I won't
Sounds like
spam
power
summon it.
gaming food
Well,
for Boris.
Exactly. Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to like the role play is going to be that I'm like raising rabbits or something, right? And so I'll only do it once every time I see him, but I'll be like, hey, here's another rabbit for you. And
Uncle
Oh, no.
Hydra.
yeah.
I love it.
Oh, speaking of Uncle Hydra, let's talk about the 52 chains, Dyoti, Cyd, and me. The role play around like Hydra and like going missing and like getting found again and like the no memory thing, dude, that honestly, it kind of like I set up the potential for that to happen a long time ago when I got kidnapped. Really what happened out of character is I spawned in and I just fell in the ocean, like out by one of the big oil things.
Mm.
And I was like, fuck, I'm supposed to be in ICU. So I'm swimming back on John Hydra and I finally get to the yacht by the pier. And I'm like, okay, I'm not swimming all the way back. I'm just going to set up a scene here that John has been kidnapped from the ICU, that there's way too much blood, that his face is a little scarred, and that somebody hears like somebody splashing into water, right? So I did all that. And I set it back and I was like, okay, this is now in the back pocket for some roleplay later. And I was like, oh, maybe I can make a serial killer and like do some fun stuff with a serial killer. I never really had time because when you're playing cop and when you're a cadet, you are like focused on that. So it was like, eventually I was like, okay, I'll do the serial killer thing. It'll be fun. But the whole John Hydra like body swap, like I was just like, I was getting so like partly bored and partly like in my own head about being a cadet for so long that I was like, okay, I'm going to start role-playing John like kind of like a little more unhinged, right? A little more like it's driving him a little crazy. Like he's like trying really hard to like get noticed, but it feels like nobody's like noticing him. Even though people were, I was just role-playing him that way, right? And so when the RoboCop phase happened and I started like only focusing on police work, I was like, well, I have to balance this with some other role play. And that's when I started RPing with Dyoti and Cyd a lot more. I don't remember how our characters like started interacting so much, but all I know is like in like one day of role play, it suddenly felt like John Hydra had two really good friends. And I was like, where did this come from? And it's just because you guys are such good role players and I turn my brain off and like just keep role playing. Is really what happens. Like my brain shuts off and the role play happens, and then you guys are actually good role players and you kind of just rolled with like whatever story my brain was trying to generate. And so then I was like, okay, well, John Hydra's never really had like outside of work friends. So how are we going to like make this like work? And I was like, okay, so John will like skew his morals a little bit for Katya, right? Doing stuff like getting her a gun when she says she's in trouble, and whenever Dyoti's around, he'll do stuff like sort of like fall more in line and give him a lot more respect than he typically shows other people, and show like deference to Dyoti or to Walker. And that's like kind of like it worked, and they just became like pretty good friends. And then when John got fired, I was like, okay, I know what the role play is now, right? All this craziness, all this weirdness that's been happening has been somebody else. Because I really, for a long time, felt like I wasn't really playing John Hydra anymore. It felt like I was just playing like a strange, like crazy person. And like sometimes in roleplay, I think you have to like do the roleplay and then retroactively kind of figure out what it meant. I don't know if anybody else feels the way, but that's how I feel when I do it.
Yeah, I get that.
But then when I like did the falling under the ice roleplay, and both Carmine and Cyd, like, dude, I bawled my eyes out. These guys, like, I don't know if you can still go back and watch the VOD, but they both like had sad music on. They were both so emotional. And 50 Shades will say he hates being emotional RP, but he does so good at it when he actually lets himself do it. It was so good and so fun. And my chat, I kept telling my chat, they were like, they're both playing sad songs. Should we give them a suggestion? I was like, yeah, tell them to play this one. And somebody would send me a clip of like Cyd listening to just like the sad cello song. Like, she's like, this is so sad.
It really was. I actually thought like, you know, when someone permas and it doesn't like really hit you until like a while later. I was still in that phase of like, oh God, is he actually gone? I was gonna miss him so fucking much. I'm glad you didn't. But I think that whole situation, it made me see Carmine in a different light as well.
Don't get used to it. That's a one-off. That's only because I do a podcast with him. If I didn't do a podcast with him, I would say, hey, good riddance, another CPD dog. Another day, another
Gotcha.
CPD officer gone.
They would have found Carmine in that lake as well.
But yeah, I don't. On my character, I try not to get. I'll be honest. This is like an self-insert trait, but I try not to get like overly emotionally invested because I don't know. How do I put this? I weird myself out sometimes. If I get too emotional and there's no meme factor to it, like if there's not a Fingal Dan element to it, I don't know why, but I just nope out. And it's something I've been trying to work on. And that's the most Morn-esque shit I've ever done in roleplay. Is just turning on sad music for Hydra.
Dude, it was genuine. It was so good. It was so good.
I like the fact that from all of that was just you rolling with scuff. Like everybody else, they go into ICU, they wake up in the ocean, they're like, oh, CG, like, help. Or you just F8 quit and try again, see if you can load back in. You went, nah, motherfucker, I'm swimming to shore and I'm going to make this a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing now.
Dude, that's my brain is, I always try to like, people say like, oh, just roll with it. But I actually try to like, this server is so good. And it's a testament that how good the server is and how high the caliber of role player on it is, for the most part, that anything can become great roleplay. All you have to do is put a little bit of effort in, and the people who actually care about like the craft of roleplay and comedy and the word for comedy that means sort of just like making stuff up on the spot that I can't remember. Improv. Yeah. They'll make something happen out of it. And that's why, like, as a cop, I really appreciate Winston Walker. You roleplay him so like as like a serious, like I'm a serious fucking cop and I'm gonna do my fucking job, but also I'm a good goddamn role player. And if you throw a line out, I'm gonna give you a chance here.
I see. I'm always trying to improve. I'm like, oh man, I could do better than this. Especially, and traumz, you're right here. I look up to like the Littlemans and stuff, like the shit that they could just create on the fly.
Stop.
What was the thing we did? Was it like 2 days ago? And you had that. I don't know what the guy's name was. He was doing like a special appearance on Space Boy
Chasm.
stream.
Okay, it was Chasm, which apparently is a pretty big YouTuber or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know him.
He does. I think his thing was that he does interviews, so they kept him in his element so he could go out and do interviews.
Did the Littlemans find him? What happened?
Well, so he met up with Bryce, and Bryce was basically showing, like, the guy's learning the keybinds as he's playing.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about Bryce Miller, the LGX.
Yeah, the LGX.
Perfect person to have somebody run around with.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, he was with him, but you could occasionally hear Spaceboy in the back, like, just push that.
Oh, was Spaceboy doing the thing where he lets somebody use his PC?
Coach.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep. So this guy's running around. They were doing a documentary. They were interviewing people, and then Kiki was doing the boom, and I called Kiki up, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm off duty. Do you want to do anything?" And she's like, "Oh, come be this person's dad for an interview. You own a pizza shop. Your son's here doing an interview." And I'm like, all right, bet. So I just turn up, and the Littlemans are now counter interviewing him. And I just walk in, I'm like, it's such a fucking disappointment, son. Like, it just spirals, and then the Littlemans start holding us all up. And I think somebody got shot. And where the fuck did Solid Snake came out of nowhere?
That's when it literally just hit peak.
Was that
chaos?
Was that silent on his snake character?
It was not silent. It was another guy. He was actually doing pretty dang well at the voice too. It wasn't silent though, and he had a great outfit for it. But literally, we're doing this interview, and then he just out of nowhere, get your hands up. It's me, Solid Snake. And it was peak chaos, absolute peak chaos.
It was so good, but I don't know how you managed to do it as the little ones just consistently. And LTX is really, really, really good at it. Just
he's so good.
You're like, you wake up and you're like, I don't know what to do today. I'm gonna make something happen. And then there's 6 blimps and a bunch of jets all flying around an island, and it's a game show where you might win a poo or something. I don't know.
Classic Littleman prize. You might win not dying or a poo. I've got a little clip from the day that I soft perma John Hydra, and this is ripped directly from 52 Changes VOD. So 52, if you wouldn't mind throwing that up for us, he'll screen share it so you guys don't have to
throw up.
Throw up.
Don't throw up.
Wait, why are we throwing up?
Don't throw up.
I don't have a gag reflex, so it's really hard for me.
What?
Just let that one flow. Okay. Wait.
After we watch this, I kind of have a little something to say about kind of what we're just talking about. We'll watch the clip first.
I hate the fact that Hydra plays role plays his injuries.
Change, you have one job.
I hate that he does that. I hate that he role.
What happened?
Wait, can you not hear it?
It's probably muted on your side, traumz.
Wait. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Run it back.
I didn't even have it broadcasting. No. I'm playing. Okay. I got it.
I hate the fact that Hydra plays role plays his injuries. I hate that he does that. I hate that he role plays consequences. Why can't he be immortal like me? Why can't he take L's that are not real L's like me? Why can't he be a little bit more like Fingal? He better not follow through with this and actually perma. he better not. I swear to God, he's been playing with my emotions for too long. He can't keep getting away with this. No, he didn't die. Shut up, Chad.
Immediate denial.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You.
I love it.
I can't believe you saved that.
It was so good. It made me so happy. I'm gonna make that a sub alert soon. I hate that Hydra plays role plays his consequences.
that entire day you were fucking baiting a perma, okay? That's my. You were baiting a perma that whole day, like 5 phone calls that were ominous. I didn't know what to do. I closed down my stream at one point. It's crazy. Yeah.
I fucking Sid was like driving around looking for like using like the tiniest clue to, you got so close to me at one point, by the way, Sid. You were literally 20 feet away from me at one point.
Oh my God, are you for real?
Yeah. You were like 20 feet. I could hear you saying out loud, Hydra, why won't you answer me? Dude, you're so good. You guys really
not the accent.
You guys really like, you made me feel really appreciated as a role player and like really seen just with like the effort that you put into, because when you throw out role play and people don't bite, it could be like a hit to the ego a little bit. But if they do it, you know, if they're busy, you know, that's one thing. But if they're like, you know, a lot of people will just they'll say I'm not interested, and that's fine. They don't owe you any role play, right? But just as a role player and as somebody on the server who I have pretty bad like imposter syndrome. I mean, who doesn't, right? But I also like worry that maybe people don't like John Hydra because they don't like me, and I don't know how do I fix that. And so when I'm like kind of emotional out of character and that emotion is like translating to in character, and I'm like thinking about, am I quitting? Like, am I done? And then you have people who give you such good role play back. It just makes you appreciate being on the server and the people that you've accumulated around you. And I would say to anybody that anytime you feel like you aren't valued, stop looking inside yourself and start looking at the people around you. Because when you have people around you that care about you, even if it's just in roleplay, if there are people who give you time in roleplay, that's really valuable because they could be doing anything else on the server. So look at the people around you and look to them to see that, like, hey, they're here around you. You're not worthless. You're not bad. You're just feeling bad right now. And just look at those people and go, okay, they care about me. So obviously I'm not seeing something right here. I'm like, you're too close to the problem, right? So yeah, so thanks for being there for me. Appreciate you guys.
Of course. No, I realized that about you when I like even one of the first times we actually roleplayed together was when Katya and Hydra got that drink together.
That was great.
That drink they got together was hilarious because I don't know, just the way you roleplayed being drunk, I was like, yeah, this guy's good. Like I knew from like just even a silly little interaction like that like I knew they'd be good friends.
Hell yeah. Dude, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Katya about how uncomfortable John Hydra is around her now. Does it come across on your side whenever like
he's definitely different. She can tell. He's definitely different.
I really want to stick true. I don't want to undo the copied doppelganger roleplay. I really want to keep the Dr. Death thing going. And I really want to make sure that since I'm leaning so hard into it, I want to make sure that I do it justice, and it's not just a get back into the PD mechanic. You know, it's not just just kidding, my character didn't do anything wrong, you know. I actually want the problems that occurred from it to be an issue. That's why John hasn't reached out to anybody on PD yet. Because he's still struggling with like trauma of like getting kidnapped and like being like stuck in a coma by a psychopath for 2 months and having his fucking face and hands cut off, right? That's crazy. So he's like, maybe being a cop, like, externally, Hydra, please, desperately want to be a cop again. It's all I want to do. It's the only thing that sounds fun, right? Being on the server and not being able to go do cop shit is devastating, right? Both for like the content and for like what my stream has come to expect and for just like my ADHD. But for John Hydra, like jumping back into being a cop right now makes 0 sense. right? So he's like, okay, maybe I'll be a lawyer and like do like justice through there, and I can like still be proud of myself and like be a great man and, you know, just be a cowboy in like a different kind of way, you know? And I've won a bunch of court cases. I crushed Carmine one the other day. It was super easy.
What do you mean? I literally threw on purpose, okay?
Dunked on him. I sent him a gift that said like owned afterwards or something. It was great.
I threw on purpose. What do you?
And he was trying really hard.
I gave you that win. I was not trying at all. I was like checked out for half that court case.
But yeah, so eventually I'll try to come back to PD. I don't know how. It probably won't be CPD. Partly because I just want to change. I just want to try something else. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much.
Did you guys hear something?
No, nothing.
Sorry, I thought I heard something.
No. I think he said VPD. Is it here VPD?
What?
Yeah.
VP me?
Oh, okay. All right. Dyoti.
all these new departments rhyme. So. It's funny. The longer we do this podcast, the more I realize that 52 Chains actually is not a good role player, and that he's just a self-insert on all of his characters.
You know, the fact that it took you this long to figure that out, you know, is a testament to your sense of role play. I've never lied. My first stream, I said I was a self-insert. Okay, you guys think me not being nice in character is an in-character thing? No, I hate everybody on the server. Every one of you. Intrusive thoughts. Sorry.
His inside voice came out. Oh God.
Whoa.
And here I was saying that I was so excited to be here. I love 52 so much.
Yeah, literally, the first thing she says is, she's like, oh, I'm so excited. I mean, it's going to be fun. I hope I don't fangirl over 52 Chains too much or something like that. And look at you now. Look at you now.
I'll sign your Steam account.
Hero.
Thank you.
I'll sign your okay.
Yeah, I am a big deal, right?
Oh my God, wait, we should make that for the, eventually we're like doing like little mini recordings, like little mini episodes, like more one-on-one type stuff that we're going to call the Maybe Pixel. Because there's Yespixel, Nopixel, and Maybe Pixel. And we're going to do it on like Patreon or something like that, maybe our website. And that's one of the things we should do for tiers is we'll sign your Steam profile. That's so funny.
I do think that, I don't know. I think a lot of people go on about self-inserts, but I don't know how you guys feel about this, but creating a roleplay character that is completely opposed or just different to you in every single way is always going to be nigh on impossible, especially for new role players. Like there's always going to be elements of self-insert, because I mean, how else are you going to figure out how to make this person and actually do it accurately?
I think it takes I don't want to say it takes a special type of person to be like an entire different person for like a long time, but I also feel like it has something to do with like how long we role play. Like it's constant. We are always in character. It's not say like more traditional role play, say D&D style, where you know you make your character's decisions and you talk about what they're feeling when they do it, and then you have a brief moment where you kind of like swap into character and do like, you know, your voice or your interaction or talk to somebody, right? Like we are always in character. And I think that without adding a little bit of yourself, without being a slight bit of an, being a little bit of you into your character, we might get into territory where you start kind of losing yourself, right? Where the character becomes the player, you know?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I think I think it's like a defense mechanism, essentially.
That's actually a really good way.
He just confessed to thinking he's Jack Sparrow.
Stop. Chains. You're leaking the DMs. Stop.
But I do have those moments where, especially on stream, where something will happen, I'm like, how the fuck is Winston gonna like react to this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I really need to think about it, and I've got 14 seconds to do so, because there's a face blankly staring back at me. Like, are you gonna just dono warm me, bro? Like, I don't know. I just said I'm gonna murder your family or something, and I'm like, yeah, but like, what am I gonna do about this? Like, I could just shoot you, but that doesn't really seem in character. I don't know what to do.
Just gonna shoot your guy. Yeah, if you're gonna say you're gonna kill me and my family, I mean, I know what I would do, but I think I might get banned for that here.
Yeah, just RDM you right here, bro.
I said if somebody says I'm gonna kill you and all of your family and make you watch, is it RDM to like just shoot
Kill
them in the
them?
face?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'll see you on the
They
forums.
just gave you
to
a
find
reason. They initiated.
You know, one thing that helps with like that is just make a character with one really obvious trait, and always stick to that one trait, no matter what the situation is. One good trait to stick to that is easy to stick to is being an asshole.
Being a pirate. Oh,
or a
Yeah.
pirate.
I thought you were.
Or
No,
a
no,
kinda
pirate
did
that is a good
asshole.
idea. Yeah, just one good or one bad trait and just stick to those one or two and then just build from there.
Yep.
I did that with Katya a little bit. How she was like, her whole backstory. I tried to make it funny, like a funny backstory. Like, oh yeah, she was raised by bears, like Tarzan. So like, when I brought her, you know, people started asking about her past and stuff and why she was so like naive and clueless a lot of the time. Is because she just genuinely doesn't have a lot of knowledge, and the way she reacts to things is just kind of like primal, like an animal would. And that's why she did what she did with Dwayne for no reason. Just took his arm because when someone was like, "Oh yeah, this guy threw a grenade at me, and I lost my arm," she was like, "Okay, so we take his arm. That's how this works." And she did it.
Oh, wicked.
How do you is it a skin to only have one arm? Is it like a custom thing?
So,
Okay.
So that's actually that when I got grenaded, I wasn't streaming and I rolled as I always do whenever I go down. I rolled for perma, like actually pretty much hit my perma conditions. But one kind of allowance I always allow in is like good doctor roleplay can pretty much save me. And I had Suri Nakamanda, is it Nakamura?
Nanakaza, yeah.
Nanakaza, who's phenomenal, and he went through the whole thing. He had sound effects and everything. And I was like,
love
oh
that
my
guy.
God, this guy's putting so much effort in. I can't just like perma like right here, right now. I'd feel so bad. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just lose an arm. And at first I was just gonna role play it, and I think I did for a while, just /me has no left arm. But I
Oh yeah,
ended up
you did. Yes, I remember
Yeah.
running into you, and I was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, not so good." And I'm looking at him like, "Okay," and then you're like, "Has no arm," and I'm like,
Oh my
shit.
God. I don't know how I didn't notice this until now, but because your eyes are so beautiful. Sorry.
Oh man, sorry, just waking up.
Yeah, how did I not notice this? This is really big. So I did that for a while, and then I messaged the guy who plays Bucky. I messaged him on Twitter, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, you can use the asset." So then I had to message a dev to get me whitelisted on it, and I think that took like a month almost. So for like a month and a half, I was just constantly /me has no left arm, and then it got approved. And God, when that got approved, I was so ecstatic, just running around. I got no arm. This is great.
Guys, look, my arm got blown off.
Oh wait, no, I've got no arm. Oh, sorry, I've done this wrong. Yeah, so no, it's a whitelisted thing. You have to get approved for that.
I really have a skin. I'm paying right now for someone to make a skin that I'll probably never get to use, which is fine. But it's it's.
Are you gonna spoil it? You're gonna spoil that?
Oh yeah, mute your mic, traumz. Mute your headphones.
Mute my mic.
Yeah, mute your mic so you can't hear.
If I mute the mic, they can hear you still.
Or mute your ears.
What about the lip readers in chat?
Well, they can suck it.
Suck what?
The truth.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Wave your arms in the air when you're done.
Wait, like this? Is this what I'm supposed to do?
Hold on.
Like this?
Oh, hold on. I don't know how this works.
Wait, am I also
I'm
meant to
No,
mute
you're
my...
fine. No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to mute your mic,
Okay.
so you'll hear me.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is it muted? Are
There
you
we
muted?
go.
Traumz, are you muted? Is he muted, chat?
Oh wait, no, hold on. I ended up just muting Hydra completely.
I mean, honestly,
that,
perfect. No, yeah. Honestly, mute me. That's fine. Your chat doesn't get to hear it. This is perfect.
Okay.
They can listen to it on the podcast.
Oh fuck, it didn't work. I'm just gonna. I'll just make a lot of sounds. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I think I can just deafen you. Hold on.
Oh, I got it.
All right. So, the skin I had made was it's a skeleton with the Littleman scarf.
What do you think he's saying?
That's all it is. And I just want to play my dead
Everyone's
Littleman. I just want
laughing.
them to carry his skeleton.
Dioni's having a belly laugh.
It's so good. And I'm not gonna like play that. I'm just gonna play a corpse. I'm not gonna move around. I might put scenes and stuff because I'm a goofball, but I won't like quote unquote be playing the characters. It's a fucking skeleton. It's so funny.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You think he said pee pee poop?
I don't know.
Not getting a pee pee.
I don't know who to ask about that, but I will. I'll DM you after and you can tell me
about me. No.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Wouldn't. I trust that guy.
All right, I'm gonna undeafen Traumz now. That's how we kill Traumz. I mean,
Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah.
All right, wave my arms
Oh,
down.
OOC, kill him.
So we spent 1 minute talking shit about Traumz chat because fuck your viewers, Traumz. That was
Why are they so into feet?
This chat's very feet focused.
Started spreading and wiggling your toes, and you set
Hey,
them off.
I got
man.
socks on. My feet are modest.
But are they toe socks?
What?
What? I mean,
No, who wears toe socks? Who actually wears toe socks?
I was wearing toe socks around Christmas. Oh my god, that
Oh,
was.
no, those-
It's like having your little toes hugged by a little sock. It was great.
Stop.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sick.
sounds weird. That sounds
I'm
It
so
is
weird.
weird, and it's like a weird feeling. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm looking at 3 different faces right now that are judging the shit out of me. And I don't like
Mine
it.
is
Okay.
too. Mine is too.
Yeah.
Okay, 4. Okay, guys, please get a pair
Tell
of
you
toe
what.
socks and change your
Tell you
life.
what, you purchase me some toe socks. I'll
Done.
give you an
Deal.
honest review on stream.
Okay. All
They're
right.
terrible. They're not good.
Hey, what the frick?
No, it's
Yeah,
weird.
maybe
I
when you
hate it.
got fucking webbed feet like you Sasquatch.
Okay, buddy. All right, you know what? All these subs have gone to your head. Chat, cancel your sub.
Don't do it, please. I need to eat.
You need to eat. Eating is good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Katya, you're kind of in my mind, I haven't seen many, but you're kind of like the last holdout for the Russians, it feels like.
Oh.
Yeah. She can't. Well, yeah. A lot of them stopped playing. The embassy got really quiet.
Who do I
after
go ahead,
a
sorry.
certain amount of time.
Who do I message? So I want to make sure it's okay first about playing a Russian. Because I think that would be
Probably
very fun.
Nikes,
Okay.
because it's Nikes' arc.
Oh, never mind. Okay, well, no, never mind.
He. Well, to be fair though, the Russian arc, what it was, I don't know if it's carrying on the way it was supposed to, because it was meant to be like all these Russians in the embassy were gonna do something big and grand and all get treason or death penalty,
Mhm.
which is why Katya was supposed to be a perma character. But then the arc kind of died off, and they all stopped coming around, and Katya and Boris stayed, which is why they kind of split off together and did their own thing. And at that point, I was like, well, I love her too much now. I don't think I want to kill her.
I bet that happened to a lot of the characters, because a lot of them are just like people around the city now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what like happened to like James Randall. I'm sure like he was supposed to be a one lifer or something, and then he ended up keeping him.
Yep.
Hello.
Surprisingly, it happens an insane amount of times. I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was flying Air One for something, and they told me to hold back at MRPD for a few minutes before like I came out. So I got the helicopter up, and I was like, I'm gonna perch up on a building somewhere, so I'm kind of ready. I was like, well, what if I just got on top of the Russian embassy? It's nice and high. And then I was like, isn't that a no-fly zone? And I was like, wait, aren't we just
Who's
like
gonna shoot you down?
yeah, it's like, first of all, who's gonna shoot me? Second, aren't we just like good with the Russians now? Like, because I just haven't seen anything progress from that.
Yeah, they're good with Katya, but
I was definitely around. Oh, I'm sorry.
a couple of the Russian like embassy workers, they've been like popping up every now and then, like once every few weeks or so. One of them will come around and be like, "Oh, hey, Katya, how's the embassy been?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Where have you been? I have moved out. I have a son. I have a family. I have an apartment. I'm becoming an American citizen." And they're like, "Oh shit, you're gonna get in trouble for that." And I'm like, "You haven't been around to see what kind of trouble that's been happening. She's been fucking tranked, almost hit by jets, and Nikes is still going along with it, which is great. It's just kind of taken a different turn."
I feel like
I fucking love Nikes, man.
he's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like every character I have has some sort of conflict with somebody involving Nikes.
Wait, it's not Nikes?
I don't know. I don't
say
know.
Nikes.
Nike sounds a little more like a copyright infringement, though.
But it's got a Z. And it's not a
Yeah.
shoe.
Well,
like
I mean,
And the slogan
It's
isn't
plural.
just do it.
he's a shoe in for something. I don't know.
Is that an invite for later?
Stop talking about shoes. Stop it. You're
Oh
upsetting
my
me
god, you
off
can't
again.
think. All the blood's rushing to his toes.
You know, one thing I liked about the Russian shit is it came around when the server was like fucking dead, like this seas
Yeah.
comatose, and there was nothing going on. I was a solo cadet circling Legion Square like 20 times by the hour, which is actually pretty slow. And then out of nowhere, these Russians show up, and then they build a compound around the roof I'd used to close out, because I always used that roof meant something to me, man. I'd use it to close that, and next thing you know, there's fucking 10 Russians and a bear. And it generated like a solid month and a half, maybe 2 months of, shit for me to schedule my day around. And for that, I am thankful. That's one thing that I've noticed devs have the capability of doing is providing role play for a large number of people. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I hope that it has a good send off, like a nice end before the server comes to a close, like all of them getting killed and me getting their roof back.
Love to.
Yeah.
What the hell?
One
I
day
want
we
Carmine
close
to
it
get
out.
his roof back. I want him to get his roof back.
I
You know
fucking
how-
faked a marriage for that shit.
You know how that all started, right? As well was the Russians coming in after the Michael Simone stuff and hunting like Winston and Jenny, and Copper, and they're like placing cameras outside, following them with drones.
Well, that's right,
Some
because
of
they
the
would like catch
videos-
them and they would like die to a cyanide pill, right?
Yeah. We they got like the hidden trooper that keeps coming in that we've now seen, who I think is played by Toby, who would just like breach MRPD, but we'd be like, oh, it's a trooper, it's fine, and then he'd just come in and just fucking blast somebody in the face in the middle of an interrogation
Holy
room.
fuck.
We'll be like, oh my god!
Oh, I remember seeing that clip, dude. That was so intense. Everybody was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck just happened? And it was funny.
Like-
they didn't immediately go, it was that trooper, right? They were so like, who did someone do this? Where are they? It was so good.
Not like OOC. I thought Jenny had done it or Copper. There was somebody standing next to me, and the guy I'm speaking to just suddenly his head blows up. I'm like, what the fuck did you do that for? Like, what, we were talking to him. What the hell? And then I realized they don't have a gun out, and I was like, oh, that was somebody else. Like, shit, who was that? Like, just so Jenny had just lost the plot, and just murdered a guy mid interrogation. Like, what the fuck?
To be fair, I could see her snapping and doing that.
Some of the really early like Russian stuff was so exhilarating. Like Pred being attacked and chased, like random helicopters and missiles.
Dude,
And
the heli versus the MiGs fight, that was so good.
I think the one for me that like was kind of jaw dropping was somebody. Oh no, we had 911s. We had the anonymous 911s, right? I'm in R1, so I fly out into the ocean. I'm like, why are these out here in the ocean? And then I see this massive like nuclear submarine, right? Just like surfaced out in the wild, and I'm like, it takes me a second. I'm like, okay, hold on, break, right? Like, we have an actual military capable submarine out here.
Yeah, we
That was
ended
really
up getting
cool.
like 3 helis out there, 6 boats. It was crazy. Faley ended up getting shot down with a missile. He's like, I can't shake it. I can't shake it. I'm going down. He actually sounded like he was gonna get fucking shot with a missile, dude. It was so good.
We caught, I don't know which dev it was, but we caught him with his pants down once by accident. We were outside Bob Smith, and I think we drove past the back, and then we went up to the top, and I look into the parking garage, and the parking garage that we had driven past not even 10 seconds ago suddenly had like a bulldozer excavator in it right next to you guys remember the Bob Smith door, the garage door that like tilts up and open?
Yeah.
It was right in front of that, like blocking it. And there were a bunch of cops who were inside. They were in the parking garage, right? And I was like, guys, how did we miss that bulldozer? And I said to, like, I'm with like Mueller and Stubble, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess we didn't see that. So we go back around. They're like, bomb detecting it, right? Like, where's the bomb? And all of a sudden it appears on the ground next to the excavator, and they're like, I found it! Like, there, I found the bomb, guys. And then Kingy Hobo Muller's going to defuse it, and he takes a sniper shot from the Vespucci canals. Like, it was stuff like that I feel like the developers really elevate certain aspects of roleplay, where you're being attacked by a guy with a sniper, but it's not like the typical situation we deal with, right? It's not like, oh, this sniper is just suddenly gonna wipe the entirety of PD and then go about their day, right? It's like,
it's not a shootout. They'll like, it's scary. Like, they'll intentionally miss just to give you a little adrenaline rush. I've stood on a roof and then just heard like a whiz and then a bang, and I just turn around and I'm like, oh, I'm getting shot at. Like, I need to leave, like, now. Like, fuck, this is not a good situation. Then I have to get somebody else. I'll be like, we need to go up there and get the casing, man. Like, I need the evidence. But like, there might be somebody out there, and I don't know where they are. They're really good.
Sorry, Karen.
The other thing is, like, Nike's. I'm not sure about Toby, but I know Nike's. He's put it in our PD chat a couple of times. Like, I think he gets really worried that we think it's too much, or we're just not interested in it. And
he reached out to us.
Yeah, he fully deserves the credit, because everybody loves it. Like, absolutely adore it.
Who was playing the missing no character?
I have no idea.
That was so weird. That was genuinely creepy.
You said you were there for that as well when we were at the hospital, and just that random, like, I don't know what it was.
It was me and you,
character,
and
oh my god,
Sid,
that was.
And it was when I was playing John as just like kind of like coming back, like getting back, like feeling kind of human again after recovering from like being in for 2 months in the thing. And I was like, okay, this is enough for John. Like, this is he's had a mental breakdown. He's over it. He's leaving the city forever. And I fucking beat the shit out. I was like, get away from me, because I couldn't back my wheelchair up anymore. And he came close. I started whacking him with my phone. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Dude, that was genuinely freaky to look at too, though. Yeah. It was like, it felt like there was like a cold breeze at your back, and like dreary music started playing, even though none of that was happening. That's how looking at that thing felt.
Maybe it was was it Carmela that was with it? Mm-hmm. Maybe one of her friends. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea what it even was.
Was it
if it was like
dev goofing around, or was it like just skin texture bug? Because that same texture.
I don't know if it was scuff or like on purpose. Like,
that same texture bug will happen if you go into the courthouse, into the bathrooms. The walls and the sink will also do that. Of that exact same texture bug.
There's a couple of them in the clothing store as well that people use, that are the arms and stuff are different. It's the way you get the visor for welding, and you can put your face on it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh my, you have to show me this later, because that sounds hilarious.
I'll have to figure it out, but so you just have like your face model just like weirdly imprinted. I see. What's it? Rhodes' other character. What's he called? Ricky or something? The really high pitched one. Get your bones, you gotta bones. He sits at harmony the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Brian Parker, thank you, Morbid. That character. He sometimes has it, and it scares the shit out of me. He's just like, hey, can I get a vehicle repair? And his like face turns around. He's like,
so good, dude.
Oh god.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
Okay.
Dyoti, you've been playing a cop for a while. Do you
Wait,
ever
what?
have any intention of making a crim character, especially with the classic server coming up?
Not so much classic. I think I was waiting for hardcore. I do have 2 crim characters. So I have Dawson Whitehead, who whole character is like he just wants cocaine. Like his whole character is all about getting cocaine.
Does he want to do
think
cocaine? Does he want to sell cocaine?
both. If he could sell cocaine, that would mean he'd have more money to buy more cocaine, so he could do more cocaine. It would be like Scarface, except for he's a complete fucking moron. I think a couple of Winston Walker's like traits have come from because I played Dawson on public for a long time. Like Winston doesn't watch any movies, but anytime anybody asks him about it, he talks about oh yeah, I watched this one movie recently, Breaking Bad. Great movie, loved it. There's 2 guys, you know, they go out and they got like this. One of them's the older guy, and the other one's the younger guy. They get this great relationship, and they start bonding, and then they go out on the hills with the cowboy hats, and they fucking a tent. And everybody goes, "Wait, what? Wait, what are you on about?" I'm like, "Yeah, Breaking Bad." With a healthy
It's
edger
like
and
Brokeback Mountain.
yeah, he just doesn't know the difference between the 2 of them. And I just
Say healthy
good.
ledger. Is that what you
yeah,
just said?
healthy edger and Jake Give It All. It
Nice.
turns out that Winston Morgan just watches all of his movies on Pornhub because it's free. Didn't realize he's just watching knockoffs. But that originally came from my other character, Dawson Whitehead. I played him once on stream and it went really well, but it is just kind of difficult just walking around like, hey, do you have cocaine? Can you give me some cocaine? And it's like, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to give you cocaine. It's really difficult. And then the gang app and everything kind of changed. I don't know. I'm playing a solo crim's kind of rough. I think a lot of people have spoken about it. Solo crim is difficult, and you have to create a lot of role play.
Yeah.
We've been like memeing with Vader so hard because for whatever reason he wants to give the Littlemans like the unlock on banks and on everything, right? And we don't mind. We're gonna try it out. But we because we've never done traditional crime. We've always done like role play crime. We just act as though we're like super skeptical, and he'll say things, right? He'll be like, all right, we got to get the thermite to get inside this bank, and we're like, well, we got hammers. You don't want to just use the hammers, right? Like this worked every time for us, you know. And he's like, okay, no, well, you need to get in the gang app to be able to rob this. And we're like, what do you mean by that? Well, first of all, we're a huge gang, you know, Northside Littlemans. We don't need a gang app. We're just like role playing around everything he's saying. Wait, I don't understand, Eugene. Why do we need a VPN? I don't even want to watch Netflix from another country. We're robbing a bank. The best one was he's like, all right, well, we can go to Uwu and get some food that makes the hack slower. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, you'll have more time to do the laptop hack. And we're like, I literally broke down and I was like, Eugene, I'm living a fever dream right now. You're telling me that there's food that slows down time. All right. I'm like, you're literally just making this up, you old fart. Like, and I'm tossing around the old word because he's tossing around the poor word. And so we're just going back and forth like old, poor, old, poor.
Oh God.
It's been fun. I love his emphasis on like chaotic role play. I gotta respect that he's part of literally the biggest gang in the city. But the guy I can really tell when he hangs out with us that he's got like, it's like scratching an itch for him, you know.
You can tell that he still loves roleplay, right?
Yeah, he's just really into still having fun. And I think this might be a bit of like a callback to a discussion we had earlier. It was about like Hassim and a guy who's never role played before, or well, sorry, he's never done Nopixel role play before. And I talked about this on stream recently too. Nopixel is a magical place because it is a community of people who've come together to trust one another to interact, to be in this world where we all abide by the same kind of rules, where we're all there to play characters under a, you know, a slightly unrealistic level of I don't want to say scrutiny, but like guidelines that we hold and things that we hold ourselves to. And I think at the heart of all role play lies the concern, or the at least the caring for the others around you, and kind of like making sure that everybody's having a good time, you know.
I
that
don't
they
know
are
that.
I know. Okay, you might say that you don't, but with what you do with your role play, you go out and you create conflict, which creates stories, which creates interesting moments for people. Like even the BBMC thing that we just talked about, that would have never happened had you just, you know, wistfully drove into the Billabong like, hey, let's see what's going on in here.
Oh, I had a question about that, by the way.
Hold on.
Yeah.
1 second, because I just want to mention, like, even stuff like that is people, they trust that you're going to take care of them, right? And I think this is like the heart of characters like the Littlemans, and why they work is because we still, even though somebody's like getting taken hostage, or we're in conflict with somebody or whatever, at the end of the day, we're still making sure that like everybody is having a good time. Or on being a police officer, you're arresting somebody, you might have like some serious conflict. You might get in their face and be like, you're going away forever, you freaking heckin' loser, I hate you, you killed my dog's bear, you know, like like just, you know, it's all that. But when you notice that, say, things are getting maybe a little too real, or somebody is like taking things a little seriously, you kind of tone it back, right? Like, because we all have like that trust in each other to kind of take care. I could see Chain smirking.
No, it's because the worst freeze just happened. I was fucking with my mustache and it froze.
So sorry, Hydra. It's just
No,
like that's the magic of Nopixel for
it
me.
is, you're 100%
the
right.
community.
Oh yeah. So,
a lot of trust and respect.
and that's why sometimes when people don't respond in like a way that like is acknowledging the effort or the care that you're putting in, sometimes it can be like, really, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, and like I say this all the time. Nobody owes you roleplay, right? Nobody owes you roleplay on the server, but everyone is expected to roleplay, right? There's a difference. You don't owe me any roleplay, but you are expected to at least roleplay.
Mm-hmm. I just had a light switch on.
Uh-oh.
The character I did, antithesis, if that's how you say the word, of the Littlemans. Call them the Whittlemans, and all they do is win, okay? They're not like those losers. But they're broke.
They're broke, but they always win.
You mean you gotta play a cop?
Everyone gets hay wranglered. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is just a W cop.
Yeah, I wanted to get on and do the Costellos more. It was really fun. I've just been super focused on the John Hydra thing, so I'm trying to get back to a position where my dream is that somebody invites Hydra back to the PD, right? That would be like the perfect scenario, is if somebody actually invited him back to PD. Kind of like, I kind of thought like, well, let me think about it like this. What is one of the mooses, you know, one of them that plays Laura Block. What is
Moose
that?
Brother?
Moose Brother,
Moose
yeah.
Brother, yeah.
It's
One of the mooses, there's two of them.
There's
No,
Moose
there's four
Taffy,
mooses.
there's Moose
Mhm.
Beard,
Moose
as well.
Knuckles?
there's Moose Knuckle.
Wait, who does Moose Knuckles play?
So
I don't
many
know.
meese.
He's
So many
like
Mises.
a clown-esque, I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. He's around like shift 3. I've been seeing him on Twitter, and I poke Moose Brother, and when we hang out, I'm like, yo, look, it's the 4th moose.
It's got like a
cool.
herd.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like how Moose Brother was invited back after, you know, getting fired for getting a cop murdered. I thought, well, hey, you know, John might get invited back after getting fired over a disagreement. I don't know. I'm still not sure entirely.
Just kill a cop, man.
Oh,
That's all it's gonna take. Just murder a cop,
no,
and
don't
then
murder
brag
a cop.
about it.
Don't murder a cop. Help a cop get murdered. That's different.
No.
Be one of the direct reasons that a cop gets murdered without actually pulling
Kill
the
a
trigger yourself.
cop.
Okay.
Blame
Moosebeard.
someone else.
Perma Moosebeard. Okay, I'm listening.
Well, you should probably find a killable cop.
Moosebeard's
Because
killable.
that's one thing that Carmine and Moosebeard have in common is they're unkillable.
But what about whenever I bring forth the ancient treasure of the depths that have been irradiated by the mermaid farts? Think about that.
Well,
think about that.
And seahorse
Moosebeard
semen.
has a secret golden tooth that deflects that.
Well, I actually pulled out all of his
RP
teeth while he
denied.
was asleep.
Well, luckily for you, a long time ago, Moosebeard was tattooed on his left butt cheek with a sigil that actually wards off roleplay from John Hydra.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah, no,
See on
yeah,
Forum-
power game there.
See you on Forum Jive.
That is
Can
an
I-
interesting question though. Like, what do you guys feel about like permas? Not like one life characters.
Not
like
worth.
perming like a main not worth.
Nope.
1000% not worth. I was playing in 2.0 with Spaceboy, and I was playing Beverly Claymore, Hindenburg, Waldorf, and I was trying to take over Prune Gang, and because it was kind of dead, it was dead. Nobody was really doing it, but the moment you say you want it, suddenly it's back, right? And it's perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And it was really good role play. And towards the end, obviously, you can't win against Mel and Eugene. You just can't, right? Not at the end of 2.0. They're multimillionaires. They can get anything from anyone. Even if they had no money and no resources, people would just do stuff for them because they asked. But I did that going into that, knowing that. And I think Spaceboy really appreciated that. He said as much, right? My sub count notification used to be like, can we get 100 more Beverlys on Nopixel, please? Of Spaceboy just saying that. Because I was just willing to go up against the Iron Giant, right? And I asked him, and she was like, hey, obviously Beverly's not going to win. So I was thinking about permaing, but I wanted to make sure that you were comfortable. I didn't want to like make you feel like you perma'd me without like consenting to that. So he was like, honestly, permaing's almost never worth it. You'll get a little bit of reaction in the moment, and then the role play that you wanted to happen from it is just gone. You'd better serve yourself to just like take a big L, ICU, and then come back later, like with a changed perspective on that character. And I've kind of like followed that thought process ever since. And I have permed a couple characters anyway. And every time I do, I fucking regret it. Even Crim Littleman. I loved Crim Littleman. And perming was just kind of like a fun sort of off that wall thing that I did. And the Littlemans did such a good job. Miles and traumz did such a good job, like making me feel like it was worth it. Like they followed the role play. They didn't let it just vanish. They got like a resolution, so it kind of went full circle. But then like every now and then I'm like, I wish I could get on and play Crim, you know? And it was just so good. It was so fun and wholesome. And now of course I could make another Littleman, but it just feels like, should I though? So yeah.
I want to add to that. I feel like I wouldn't say it's an issue, but permering isn't permering, especially a main character on a server like Nopixel. It's always gonna the negatives are gonna outweigh the positives because Nopixel it's built like it's a time sink, right? It's a super grindy server because it's designed for people to spend a lot of time on it. And like if you an average day on Nopixel is like what 5 hours plus, and that amount of time, you know, you talk to people, you build connections. Some people build their streams off of their characters, especially their mains, and killing that off. It's like it's like killing your IC character off. It has like OOC implications because now you don't get to roleplay with the group you were role playing with before. Or maybe your viewership drops if you stream, or maybe you don't have access to the same things you had access in previously. Like it's roleplay, but it's MMO-esque, and that's just how the server is right now. But if you compare it to a server like Wild RP, Red Dead, for those of you that don't know, people perm on their server like it's fucking nothing. Like people who've had characters for 8-7 months that are leaders of gangs and shit, they just die. One instance and then die, and that's it. And I feel like one reason it's easier for people to perma on a server like Wild RP compared to Nopixel is Wild RP is episodic, right? Nothing is permanent. Everything gets reset. the mechanics are not grindy. Connections are important, but not super important, you know. And yeah, it's just right. Maybe when hardcore comes around, maybe people stop permaing, but it comes down to server culture and you know, server mechanics too, to a degree. Like another thing, when if you have a cop and your cop gets fired, that shit sucks. That shit sucks, man. Because once you lose that access to being a cop and you don't have the same avenues open to you, because me personally, I schedule most of my days streaming with pings and the spontaneous shit that pops off, because that's one of the things you get as a cop. If I didn't have that, I don't see. I've said this multiple times, but if I didn't have that, like something to work around, like a cop mechanic, I probably wouldn't be as active on the server because I'm lazy. So that's one reason why. I don't know. Getting fired, permering, maybe it's good in the moment, but in the long run, most people are gonna end up regretting it.
I agree. I think there's a couple reasons that I think it's good to do. Obviously, it pushes a story. You can really get someone some bad consequences, but the most important things are, one, you're gonna get like a real big dopamine. You're gonna have a lot of fun. You're gonna be excited. Adrenaline's gonna be high, but that's gonna fall off very, very quickly as you realize that you're dead. The second one is, and I think Hydra, you touched on this a little bit, is like trust. Because if you perma your character, you are now taking all of the role play out of your own hands and putting it into people that hopefully you can trust to make something of it. And honestly, I feel like with police investigations, that's kind of like the heart of it, is trying to give people justice, not for like their death, but for their character, right? Like for their own role play's sake, not even for the fact that like somebody died, right? It's like the trust of, okay, this is the role play you want to do. This ties back to like, you know, making sure everybody's having a good time and like trusting each other and respecting each other on the server, but making sure that this role play action that they've taken is like carried through, right? Like you're not just gonna be like, well, there's a body, all right, just put him in a bag, send him to the morgue, and then that's it. There's no role play or consequences or anything from that. Bad.
Like we've seen it happen too. If I ever see it, I try to like be like, oh my god, somebody's dead. Like they're fucking dead.
Every time I think about that, I think about the cheese monster, the guy who we tased, and suddenly his body began to transform, and his blood became liquid cheddar, and then he melted into a pile of cheese. me and Moose Brother we were cadets, and we had that happen to us. So he was driving, he's a big guy, he's driving around in a clown van, and we tased him out of the van, and then he immediately just like, you could tell his vitals are low, and we get him, as we're taking him to the hospital, he starts like, it's like you notice cheese bleeding out of the wound, and we're like, what the, I'm like Bloom, something's going on with this guy. we should get him to the hospital. And he turns into a puddle of cheese, and then like a like a comical face comes out of the cheese and goes like, and then it just like melts away, and then that's it. That was him. He's just became a cheese man.
Oh my god.
I like those kind of permas. Those are my favorite, because I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole, but I don't want to have to investigate why somebody died.
It turned into cheese.
Yeah. So if you're gonna turn into a pile of cheese in front of me, that please do that. That's the kind of investigative role play I want to do. Where I go, hey, have a little taste, you know?
Oh, brie. Oh,
nice. Should we try some?
Is that brie?
Don't trust me with your permas. I won't. I won't respect your death.
Romantic RP image of the wild RP, like perma a main character once a year. I was watching I think it was Sab, and I don't know who the other guy is. I was watching from the other guy's point of view, and they had like this spontaneous illegal duel on top of a railway, and they were both like, "Yeah, if we lose this,
That's it.
we're probably gonna perma. Like, we're either permaing or it's gonna be real bad." Sam was like, "Yeah, I'll 100% perma if I lose this." I think the other guy lost, and everybody was just like, "He's probably dead." And he was even talking. He's like, "It's probably time. Like, I've been playing this character for like 8-9 months. I haven't perma the main character in 8-9 months. I should probably perma this guy like now." And then he starts playing his perma song, and everybody's freaking out. And then he ends stream, and it was just like, this guy's got a perma song. Like, people know when he's gonna
That's
die
so
because he plays
sick.
the song. And I like that. Just I love that whole idea, and I kind of want to replicate it. But I am also really scared to perma Winston because
Don't perma Winston. Don't
I,
perma Winston. I gave you that die.
That's
I
really
power gamed
bad.
you taking my perma die for a reason.
yeah,
advantage on
his,
your
his
perma rolls.
perma-die. Yeah, his perma-die is like everybody's like, I put rolls all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but the odds are so fucking low. Like, it is so low.
Do you actually use the advantage die, by the way?
Well, I haven't got to the point where
Okay.
I need to use it,
Good.
right? Because you said it was on the
On death
So I
saves.
roll-
on death saves.
3 dice. First one is if it's 1 to 5, like serious consequences, pretty much. Like he's probably gonna go into IC, or he is definitely critical. Second dice, if that's a 1, and then that can be changed with like the role play with the doctor. And then third dice, if that's a 1, then I'll roll, and that's a perma. But chat can re-roll for 100,000 points, one of the die. And now Hydra's got the re-roll on the third one if that hits a 1. Like, what's the chances of me getting basically 5 1s in a row?
1 in 3,000.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
I know it's 1 in
pretty low.
300 to get 2 of the same number on 2d20 roll.
I felt like you gave it to the wrong person.
So I wanted to give it to Katya, but I knew. So basically, it was like, who in this moment, who does Hydra value more as a friend? And I didn't know who the answer was. And then I was like, who is probably more likely to die on the daily? And I was like, it's probably Winston. Now, when Katya might die, it'll probably be like, it'll probably be bad. I was like, but playing the odds, I think the going to Winston will be better with the Perma-die.
Yeah.
But then I was like, also, isn't it a nicer gift for Katya to give Winston the die? I think Katya would be much more angry at Hydra for giving her the die than
100%.
Winston was for Katya giving it to him.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely goes down more, I think, like police shootouts and stuff. But the way I roll for Perma is is a much bigger chance she'll die, especially if it's by specific, like the conditions I have for Katya is like she can there is conditions to it for certain people, and if she does go down to those certain people, there is a big chance she'll die based on the rolls.
Yeah, I decided because one of the critiques about John Hydra was you go down like every other day. You're in ICU every other day, right? And at first I was like, cool, like I roleplay my injuries. Sorry if you don't like it. But then I was like, okay, this is actually like a command critique. This is like we think you're less good of a cop because you're going down so much. And so I was like, okay, fine. On new Hydra, right? On the Hydra restart, I'm not gonna roll anymore. I'll roll for non-critical injuries. If somebody like punches me in the throat, I'll roll, and if it's a 1, I'll be like, can't breathe, right? But I'm not gonna perma. Now I've decided if I'm ever gonna perma John, there's not gonna be a roll beforehand. It's just gonna happen. And the only way I see myself perming my characters is if I'm done playing on the server as a full-time thing. When at the end of this year, if I'm not streaming anymore, because I announced a while back that this might be my last year trying to do full-time streaming. Just because I've been doing it for 5 years or something, and like maybe on a good month I make like $300. It's just like the return on investment is I'm just not getting enough money to make up. I could be like welding or something right now and making a ton of money for not much more hours than I'm putting into Nopixel, right? So it's sad to think about, but if I do get to that point, what I'll probably do is I'll probably, like, if I'm playing on Nopixel just for fun, I'll probably do that. I'll probably play a character for a couple months and then perma them and then make a new character. I was thinking, like, how amazing would it be on Nopixel if it was cyclical. If there was like 3-month or year-long stretches where, okay, by the way, everybody, at the end of the year, we make new characters, right? Or at the end of the 3 months, we make new characters. And if you want to get back with your same group, it's cringy, but you do you. If you have like an out of game business with your characters like Chain Gang or with like some of the other gangs, I think Chain Gang's like the main one because they have like a business. They have like a business model of playing on the server. And I would never say don't do that. Get that bread, do your thing. They're friends and they're a company, I assume. Right? I don't know the inner machinations of them, but I assume that they like have deals together and they work with. I mean, they're all working, with Garrett, and he's like a super smart business guy in that world. So nobody would ever tell them not to make money, but saying like, hey, make new characters. And like, this will be the way we're doing it from now on. Think about how much more creative and interesting the server would be.
Yeah.
If every couple months or every year, people like had to make new characters. I think it'd be so sick.
It'd be refreshing to say the least.
Yeah.
Obviously, for like a content focused server, there's a bit of like romanticized like roleplay idealism in there because people are happy to watch the same character all day every day. It's comfortable, so they probably won't change that. But I don't know. I just like the
I think there's a couple of characters that I don't know would be horrible to see. Like I love seeing James Randall.
idea.
Seeing James Randall plum would be really upsetting. I think, especially on a 3-month basis. People like Capture Terra Nova, Vinny Pistone, who are like they're like running some of the weapons trafficking. If they were to go and you needed a new person every couple of months, Cerberus replacing accountants all the time, like that shit's hard. Like we need those people to keep the kind of server ticking a lot of the time.
What if it was
especially the criminal element?
Totally. What if it was not just new characters? What if it was like total ground up restart, like total wipe of the server every 3 months?
I don't know. 3 months seems real.
That's why
quick.
I said like a year. Maybe it's a year. Every year. What if it's a total restart? Dude, I think that would be so. We would actually have like seasons of Nopixel, right? Not just like iterations.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like Sid, how long did it take for Sid to like do Rust and then get out of Rust and then start working towards becoming a cop? And then same with like Katya and how long all that stuff started.
I joined Nopixel in February, so it's almost been a year. I'm coming up to my anniversary. I was in Rust I got blooded in April, I think, or May. And then left by November. And then started the PD application by December.
Then, yeah, like 11 months for a full kind of arc.
Yeah. But I mean,
you went through Rust pretty quick.
Yeah, I feel like I probably would have been in a lot longer if it wasn't for like just gang RP being in the state it is, like war. Like I really dislike war RP. I feel like the type of gang RP I would prefer would be what I kind of want to do in the next iteration of the server, which is like a true like pure RP mafia style gang. That's the kind of stuff I want to do as a like criminal, not go out in the streets, shoot somebody because they robbed us for a gun and then start a whole war over it, like shooting each other every day like it's a death match, like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I've seen war roleplay happen and it almost always just makes everybody involved bitter. It's typically how it goes, right?
It's like it goes one of two ways. Either everybody hates each other, or it's the other side of the spectrum where everyone's overly nice, where it makes no sense and they're saying good game, good fight. We'll see you next time. Let's take it to Grandma's. That shit never made sense to me, but I get it. It was to keep she tensions low. Like unspoken rules of if they go down, take that gun so the cops don't find it. Why would you do that for someone you're trying to kill?
Exactly.
In role play, but
I think I've entered a shootout because one gang beat the other gang and they were trying to stop the gang that lost the shootout trying to stop them getting arrested by the cops. And I was like,
Why?
Yeah.
these guys are your enemies. You just shot them. You try to kill them, but you don't want them to go to jail.
As a gang, we've done that like in the past as well, like where we'd win a fight in a war or whatever, take them to grandma's, steal all their stuff, make them walk home. They've said, I've been like, well, why are we even helping them? And they've said, oh, it's because, you know, as much as they're our enemies, the cops are everybody's enemy, every gang's enemy. So it's like the enemy of my enemy is
my friend. Yeah,
I'm friends with them because we're both enemies of the cop, basically.
Mm-hmm. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the cop is the ultimate enemy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they
now you
said
want
to
to
me they did
become
that.
one.
Oh my god, I've joined the dark side or the good side. I don't know. I'm excited for it though.
I understand where you come from, Dyoti, with the whole you know, some arcs taking super long and some roles on the server being very dependent. I feel like that's something that could be easily solved just by overhauling the mechanics and rather than making gun dealers be super secretive and trying not to get caught, just like, I don't know, like this workarounds and accountants. 3.0 compared to 2.0, 3.0 has a lot of positions people fill that are very repetitive, like mechanics where it's almost like a day job. Like if you work at Autos or Harmony, if you're a business owner, you're waking up, running a business almost like it's real life, and the role play is, I'm not trying to shit on anyone's role play, but the role play is it's minimal dialogue. Or hey, you want to buy this? You do? Here you go. And it doesn't develop from there. And it's that day in, day out, day in, day out. And it starts to feel like a real job, and you forget that you're supposed to have fun and role play. But I feel like Wild RP's mechanics, I haven't played it too much, but Wild RP mechanics are like non-existent. Everything is, you know, creative, no barriers, nothing is structured like it is in Nopixel. And you know, there's not like like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it can be fixed by overhauling the mechanics and the mentality of how people see role play on the server.
Yeah, just think back to when we used to role play. If you guys were like a long time role players, I used to role play in MUDs, which were called multi-user dungeons. You would literally, it was all text. There was no images. You would just be reading text on a screen, and we would have like these huge like cityscapes that we would like talk about, and like people could just see it in their mind. The mindset is exactly what you said. 52 is like, if you get the mindset right, you can really pop off with some role play.
Yep, my camera froze again. God damn it.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I got the picture.
Someone get it. Someone get it.
It was a good one. Cyd. So you want to make a cop on your other character?
I mean, she's there. She's been around for a while. Just going from crim to cop. I did actually make a cop that I really wanted to be like a ranger, like Tessa Lamb vibes. But I decided once I left Rust, tried Civ RP. I really had nothing going on in that character. I was going to perma her. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I've already got connections on this character. I've got friends. I don't even hang out with many criminals anymore. Let's just do it on this character instead.
Do you see yourself playing a cop, a crim when it comes to the hardcore or the classic server?
I want to do both. I want to sort of stick to the route I'm on at the moment. I want to make Cyd like a cop or detective or ranger or whatever. Just see where I go with it. And then I want Katya to be more criminal. Not secret criminal though, I think.
Just like straight up a crim, like people know.
I like
Not
that
the whole-
dynamic of like being in a relationship with a cop, but you're a criminal and they're a cop. It reminds me of like an old sitcom or something like that. He's a cop and she's a grim.
Yeah, no, I want to do something really cool in the next server, I guess, whether that's hardcore or 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
I want like a really RP heavy mafia type beat, you know?
We might have to touch base because I would love to do like a really serious like mafia style. That's something I've wanted for a long time. I've tried to get 52 and traumz to do it, but they have too much ADHD and they have very successful characters, and so they don't, want to make a whole new character. But I would love to just have a group of friends that I make like a crime organization with, and we like do like really serious, like, you don't know about the boss, or you messed up talking about the boss in the Twitter. Okay, you made a big mistake. All right, the boss wants to see you. What's your favorite knee? Which one's your favorite?
You literally came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to live in the sewers?"
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Hey, do you want to see somebody like maybe once a tsunami? We'll just live in the fucking sewers. The sunlight burns.
I didn't say let's make fucking vampires. Jesus Christ. I just thought it would be fun to have a gang whose territory is the sewers.
Somebody threw a sandwich down the grates earlier. It was delicious.
I actually had the same idea. I've still got this character, but it was going to be fuck, what is it called from the vault in Fallout 3? Snakes?
Oh, the tunnel snakes. We're the tunnel snakes.
I made a tunnel snakes character, and I was gonna claim Integrity Tunnel as our turf. And just anybody that came in just be like, tunnel snakes rule. But I was like, this seems really limiting.
Yeah,
I don't know like how far it could go.
You have to go outside of the tunnels, but then the tunnels is like your home base, just like the barrio, right? The barrios do stuff all around, but in the barrio, is like their strong point. And I just thought it'd be really cool to have characters that are like super familiar with the tunnels, where like you eventually learn, like, oh, I can go in here and be out there and like outplay other criminals, cops. I just think it would be super, super cool. It'd be fun. It's a very cool dynamic.
Human trafficking, and have Nidus's little rat man as the
dude, it'd be so good.
You got the money. We got the money.
The tunnel rats. I love it.
It'd be funny.
We could be the tunnel snakes.
All right, we have turtles, tortoises, turdi, and then there's one rat.
Turdi?
Yeah, we use
turdi
and nunchucks and shit, and we eat pizzas.
Hell yeah.
Little tunnel.
Only order for Maldini's.
Only order for Maldini's.
Wait a second.
32 and a half. 32 and a half.
You guys, that's just the plot of Pokemon. What do you mean?
I was trying to be original over here.
You guys aren't. That's not original at all.
Oh, but we tried.
So this was one for Dyoti and Sid. Do you guys have any like the highest of high moments and the lowest of low moments on your characters? What moments, when you think about it, like if you tell somebody outside of the roleplay world and you were explaining like a story about your character, what would be like the most exciting, amazing, crazy thing they ever did? And then what would be like the thing that made you feel the most terrible, whether in character or out of character?
Wait, terrible? What do you mean, like terrible, like feel bad for others, or you were feeling terrible?
Either or.
It? Okay, I'll go after whoever wants to go first.
You can let them think. You can go. Yeah, go and let them figure it out for a second.
The most enjoyable moment I've had in roleplay, I'd say, is when recently is when Brian Knight made Carmine Costello the assistant chief, especially when he was new and everybody hated him, like really hated him.
So good.
And it was 4 days of bliss. It was amazing, man. It was so good. There were people that, like, characters that would shit on Carmine, and he had 4 days to get it back in blood. And I mean, I'll be honest, I pulled a lot of my punches, but it was fun. One of the worst scenarios I had, and this isn't against any of the people I was role playing with, it was just I was tired, and I was in a I was not in a good state of mind while I was going through with this. It was a court case. I was in a court case, and when you play a character like the character I play, people aren't necessarily going to take you super seriously. And because the character is a dislikable character, people are going to you know, shitting on your character is gonna make sense because you're playing a character that's a fucking shitter. You know, you're not gonna like him, so you're gonna be an asshole to him. I was in a court case. The judge, the defendant, their lawyer, the officers that were on my side, the prosecution, literally everybody in that room was banking on me fucking losing that court case. And usually situations like that, if I'm not feeling it, I can walk away. But you can't walk away from a court case because I was under contempt charge too. So it just felt like the walls were closed in on me, and I was role playing a situation. I don't usually mind losing, but I was role playing a situation where losing was inevitable and no punches were being pulled, and I really didn't like that. But yeah. It was a long time ago. I think it was like my second court case ever, and ever since then it left a sour taste in my mouth every time I'm in court. But recently it's been fun. Like a week or two ago, I think I had a court case with Bill Mays. We won. I won. Oh no, I lost. Wait, I lost. It felt like I won because I got to throw up a fucking meme on the Bill Mays. I sent Bill Mays some shit, and he threw it up. And you know, if I get content and it was worth it, that's a win for me.
That's
so
perfect.
recently, recently I've been enjoying court RP more so than back when I started.
It's interesting. It kind of sounds like you don't mind taking an L, but because you know you're like taking L's. But when everybody has it out for you and there's nobody like giving you any other kind of like RP other than we want you to lose, it's almost like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Even Carmine Costello has a breaking point. Who knew?
No, you're making me sound weak. But yeah, I do.
All right. Dyoti, Sid, you guys got one?
Did you go
You
on?
can go for it. I'm trying to think. I definitely. Oh, I've got some in mind, but if you've got one like that, you know, go for it.
Was it my biggest high moment? I think the court case that we did, speaking of court, you made me think of this, the poop court case that we did.
I'm so sad I missed that.
That was so good. That was so good. And it was what Ziggy Bugs had broken into Winston Catcher's home, pooped on the coffee table, and then left a little note saying that he had done it. I wake up on the server and I'm like, why the fuck is there a poo on the table? And then I was just like, all right, I'm going for this. So I call up Flop, I start screaming at him. I call up Ziggy, I start screaming at him. So they break back into my home and then try to clear up the evidence by throwing the poo out of the window. And then so I like collect all the evidence and everything. And then they do it again a week later. So I'm like, all right, I take it to civil court. I think I got WTF Moses. I got his Costello character to write up a cleaning invoice. I got doctors to run DNA samples on the poo. I think I even spoke to Pixie at one point to get an invoice for was it psychiatric help for the damage that had been done to me mentally. And it just turned into this 5-hour court case that like everybody at the end had migraines because we were all laughing so hard. Like it was terrible. Like we all felt physically unwell because we were just bawling laughing so much. I don't think of low points. I intentionally create low points for Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get to points where I'm like, he's winning too much. Like I completely sabotage. Like Nikki is a riot, plays Jenny Hall. She's such a phenomenal role player. She's amazing. And she was trying to get me to join the Cerberus PD, which Winston's opposed to because it's brought up by punks that hates kind of like private investment and corporations. So he just didn't like the idea of Cerberus. She was really trying to get him to join. He almost joined. And then I was like, he's up too good. I'm going to fuck this up. So I walked into the meeting wearing Cerberus outfit and then kind of did a what's the MMA fighter who just brought out on? I apologize for absolutely fucking nothing. Like I ain't joining Cerberus. Fuck all of y'all. Yeah, I did that, and that went really badly. And then Jenny hated Winston. Shock horror. And there was a point where I was like, I might not get to roleplay with Nikki for a while, and that OOC hurts because I fucking love roleplaying with her. But also, it's the consequences of my own actions, and I deserve it, and intentionally created it because I was too up good. But yeah, that was a real low moment. But God, yeah, Nikki's fantastic. Play Jenny.
Yeah, she
did all of that really well.
Her character feels very real, right?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, if you told me like, oh, actually, Jenny Hall is played by an AI that was designed to be a real person and have like real feelings and emotions, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Because
most just call her a RoboCop?
No, shut up.
You just called her a RoboCop.
What I'm saying is she's more human than you. Because when we as characters like feel emotions, it's tempered by the fact that it's just role play, right? But Jenny, when she like actually, like, you can tell, I've seen her in character be like, okay, everything's fine. I'm like, man, if I was her, I'd be freaking out right now. And then she'll go into the bathroom, and then I'll walk by and I'll hear her like losing her fucking mind quietly. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude.
She's great at it. Hayes as well is played by Cyclical.
Oh yeah.
Like both of them.
A little raccoon, a dirty little raccoon.
Yeah, well, both of those characters are like, they were the big inspirations, not only for Winston as a character, but also just like me when it comes to roleplay and like learning how to roleplay. Quite often showing me the ropes. They just do emotional RP. So good. They're so good.
They're very good. All right, Sid, what you got?
Probably, I actually thought about it now, but probably the lowest moment was leaving Rust. Mainly because, I mean, in character, like, you know, there was I didn't enjoy the war RP very much, or like the gang RP at that time. But what was really, really sad to me personally was losing the boys that I had been like role playing with for like the majority of the year. And like I'd just met them like in real life at TwitchCon as well. Oof. And they were like my best friends, and I literally had to let myself step away from all of that just because it made sense. I wasn't enjoying it. And despite like losing them, it made sense. And I'll always do what like makes sense rather than like, oh, like I'll just let myself, you know, I want to stick with them, so I'll just, you know, I'll just let her keep getting shot down for no reason, right? Like I'm not gonna keep doing that when it makes sense for her to leave. And yeah, I think that was probably like the lowest point, especially because not only did she lose them, but she lost a bunch of other people because they were friends with like Rust, and then it's like, well, if she's out, we can't really talk to her anymore. I feel like it's almost like an equivalent to like it's like a soft perma, and I feel like that's probably why it explains a lot about why she changed up the way she did, going to cop. But yeah, that was really, really sad, and you know, I got over it in the end. But highest, I don't know. I feel like I've got a lot of high points for like many different reasons. One situation that sticks out to me a lot was just this really SBS day I had with I don't know if anyone's met Cleaver Brown.
Yeah.
I know Cleaver. Oh, so God. the day I met him, it was, I just woke up in NA Storm one day, and I think this is back when, I don't know if I had prio, so it was like amazing that I managed to wake up. I got like random prio that day or something. I managed to wake up in NA Storm, and I was like, well, I don't know anybody in this storm. What do I do? And I walk out the apartments, and there's this guy in a van, played by Mike the Mike the Bard.
Nope.
It's his like science character. He's really creepy science guy. He's in this van and he's waiting outside the apartments and he's like,
no.
hello, do you want superpowers? And I was like,
Is this
you
the
know
piss
what?
pyre thing? Is this
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah,
to piss?
yeah. So that was one moment where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say yes to things and see
Yeah.
where it goes.
Oh man.
And I was like, yeah, sure. You know what? I'm gonna get in your van, you creepy motherfucker. And I got in, and he was like, okay, we're gonna wait for some more people. Cleaver comes out the apartments, and it was, I kid you not, the best 5 hours ever I've probably had in roleplay. It was just so funny, and it's like brought me and Shala Peak up like really close because of that just one storm we had together. It was so hilarious.
I've still got his statement from that incident. He responded to that as a cop, and it's so long, but I remember him just reading it out at me, and the whole time I'm writing it down, I'm like, what is going on? And then he finished, and I read it all back to him, and he's like, oh, you actually wrote all of that down, like you weren't just breaking because it's such a ridiculous, like, I could, like, it's pretty long, but I could read it, but like, there's once doctor took me to Humane Land, jumped in a vat of yellow water in the middle of the silo, meant to have power, you have the power to trick pee pyres like vampires, but pee pyres, I drink pee.
yeah. He basically tricked us. He tricked us and was like, I'll give you superpowers. Took us to Humane Labs, and he was like, okay, I said I'll give you superpowers. It's not going to be the ones you want, but you're going to want to drink piss for the rest of your life. Threw us into this vat of piss. Yeah.
Was that all? Jesus.
But and it can't be your own piss. It has to be piss from somebody else, and the other person cannot be a piss pyre.
Yep.
Oh my god! And there was
Can you
time
filter
travel
it?
involved.
Can you use a filter?
He's like traveling back in time or something like that to save his family, but he was actually the one who invented the piss pyres who killed his family in the first place, and it's like this weird self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my god! Shout out to Mike the Bard.
Dude, Mike the Bard's
Yeah,
so
it
funny.
was
I wish I could roleplay with that
amazing.
guy more. Awesome. Well, all right, you guys. It's about time we wrap it up here. Thank you guys both for coming on. Thank you for sharing your cool stories, your experiences. Thanks for doing a duo and partially live episode. Thank you.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Yep.
Okay, it was fun.
Super good. Often traumz will do this before we close out, but I'm going to steal this thunder this time. And I'm just going to say that both of you guys are incredible people and incredible role players. Everybody that you interact with is sort of blessed by your presence. You really make every scene that you're in come to life a little bit more. And everybody that gets to be around you and interact with you is lucky. I count myself very fortunate that somehow I've tricked both of you guys into liking me both as a character and as a person. I think, and it means a lot. So
I'm just role playing that. I actually hate you.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, I'm glad we're on the same
Okay,
page. You piece of shit.
okay, 52.
Hey, he stole my bit. He stole my bit. Dude. What the hell? That's my thing.
No, but seriously, I love you guys. You guys really, you do me proud. You make me proud, and you make me proud to be on the same server that you're on. So thank you. Do you guys want to shout out your Twitch, YouTube, Beatfinder, anything?
52 chains on all socials.
Shut up.
All right,
Wait,
now
what the hell's
close.
Feet
That's it.
Finder? Why
Don't
has
worry
no one
about
ever told me about this?
Don't worry about it. We'll talk later. Okay?
Do I need a VPN for that, or do I just
I recommend it.
like just incognito mode? I'm Dyoti. I think I'm Dyoti on Twitch. I know I'm Dyoti on Twitch. I think I'm Dyoti on YouTube. Yeah, I'm Dyoti TV on Twitter, I think. I don't know. I'm Dyoti on everything. You just Google Dyoti. I'm the only thing that comes up.
DYOTI.
DYOTI. There you go.
I'm Cydrose on Twitch. That's all.
CYDROSE.
I won't steal Hydra's thing because he did my thing. So I'm just gonna say I love you both. Dyoti, we've had a lot of laughs, and here's to a lot more, buddy.
I can't wait. I got to make Jim Littleman appear. GYM Littleman.
No, that's Chris's. That's Chris Tombstone's Littleman. He made Jim Littleman already.
No. GYM, the muscular one that's going to come along, and he's just going to have a super deep voice and just be into roids.
We're gonna have two Jim Littlemans then.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have 3 Jim Littlemans. Because
Okay,
Chris
Kim
Tombstone
Morrison.
is-
I'm
Littleman.
making a Jem Littleman.
I'm pretty sure Chris Tombstone is GYM Littleman. I'll have to check the Littleman
No, he's
document.
he's JYM, I think.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll have Jim, and Jim.
Yeah, he's also already got $250,000 from like the welfare.
The true
he's
little man.
got plenty of money for you guys to burn.
Oh my god. Excellent. So we're gonna have Jim, and Jim. We'll have Tim, Mr. Tim. And not Tim nor Jim. Dude, oh my god.
It's gonna be good.
Steel Apocalypse, the best name ever.
So good. All right, Yespixel, episode 26. Thanks for watching.